Welcome to the chapter Energy from the Sun.
This slide presents the overview of the chapter. Learning objectives. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to
describe the solar energy from the sun's rays, explain about the sun's rays and Earth's surface, describe the contrast between land and water, identify the temperature of atmosphere, describe about heat balance, illustrate the high and low temperatures on Earth, describe about the heating of the atmosphere, examine the moderate and extreme climates, identify the temperature maps.
Introduction. Before entering into the chapter, follow the instructions shown on the screen. Click each tab.
We have learnt about the diversity, oceans and continents, mountains, plateaus, etc. in our previous classes. We also know that the solar energy travels from the sun to the earth in the form of rays. Do you know? The solar radiation which is received by the Earth's surface is called insolation. Sun rays fall at an angle of about 90 degrees on the equator and they fall slanting towards the pole. This is called the angle of incidence. Let us learn about the solar energy and the sun's rays. Let us learn about the variations of temperature in different parts of the world. Let us first start with the introduction to solar energy and sun's rays. Sun is the principal source of energy on Earth's surface and it is like a powerhouse which gives energy in the form of light and heat. This energy is known as solar radiation. When a body produces energy, it is called radiation. Sun produces energy in the form of sun's rays, which we can see and feel like light and heat. Sun also releases energy in the form of UV rays, radio waves, X-rays, which we can neither feel nor see. The solar radiation that reaches the Earth's surface is called insolation. The amount of energy received at the ground level is less when compared to the actual energy which is received by the Earth's atmosphere. It is because most of the energy is reflected back by Earth's atmosphere. Harmful rays like UV rays will not reach the ground. This made all living beings like humans, animals and trees etc. to live on Earth. Clouds and smoke or dust absorbs the solar rays and reflects them away. Due to this, it will be very cool during the cloudy days. We will now look at the topic greenhouses. A greenhouse is also called glasshouse. These are the houses which are made by human societies. Humans grow crops by creating an artificial environment. We can grow vegetables and fruits in very cold regions by building greenhouses. These buildings have transparent roofs and walls which allow heat to come in but not escape. By irrigating the fields, a marshy environment can be created to grow crops like paddy. Let us learn about the sun's rays and Earth's surface. Due to the curved nature of Earth's surface, the rays which reach the ground do not heat the Earth's surface uniformly. In the displayed image, you can observe that the amount of solar energy which falls on the smaller area and the larger area is the same. However, it gets warmer on the equator than near the poles because of the curved nature of the Earth. The sun rays fall at an angle of about 90 degrees on the equator and fall slantingly towards the poles. The angle is called the angle of incidence. The displayed table makes us understand what difference the angle of incidence makes for the amount of energy received on the surface. In the equatorial region, it is cloudy after midday and fewer sun rays fall on the ground, even if the extreme sun rays fall on it. That's the reason why the equatorial regions are not warm as the regions which are immediately north or south to them. The angle of incidence constantly changes when the Earth goes round the Sun in the course of the year. Therefore, it increases in north during November, December, and decreases during May, June.
Knowledge.
Let us learn about the land and water contrasts. The temperature distribution will be different and varies over land and oceans. It can be observed by measuring the temperatures on continents and oceans. Land is a good conductor of heat. Land gets heated and cooled quickly, whereas water bodies are different. Oceans will take more time to heat and cool. We will now learn about the heating of atmosphere. The sun rays first heat the Earth's surface, but not the atmosphere or the air around us. Actually, the atmosphere allows the rays to pass through without being heated by them. Earth radiates the heat, which heats up the air around us. Because of this, the Earth's surface is warmer when compared to the higher reaches of the atmosphere. We will now look at the heat balance. Earth radiates heat in different ways. 1/3 of heat is immediately reflected back into space. The rest heats up the Earth's surface, which in turn heats the atmosphere and then finally gets radiated into the space. The amount of heat which remains in Earth will accumulate and it becomes hotter if the entire heat is not radiated back. Conversely, if the Earth receives less heat than the heat radiated by it, then it would get much cooler. Gases like carbon dioxide increase in the atmosphere due to more usage of petrol, diesel, and by cutting down the forests, etc. If carbon dioxide is increased in the atmosphere, then it decreases the radiation of heat and increases the global temperatures, which results in global warming. Global warming has a significant and costly effect on our communities, health and climate. If we will not take any action to reduce the global warming, these effects will grow more expensive and damage our planet, including you, your community, and your family.
Knowledge.
Let us learn about the temperature of atmosphere. A thermometer is an object which is used to measure the hotness or coldness of a body. Temperature differs from place to place on Earth and in summer, winter, monsoon, and other seasons. The table on the screen shows the actual measured and guessed temperature values of a few things. Let us learn about the high and low temperatures. Scientists have measured the highest and lowest temperatures recorded on the Earth. The highest temperature is recorded at Azizia, Libya in Africa, which is 57.8 degrees centigrade in July 1922, and the lowest temperature is recorded in July 1983 at Vostok Station in the Antarctica of minus 89.2 degrees centigrade. Temperature can be calculated in negative and positive degrees centigrade. The temperature of a normal human body is 37 degrees centigrade. When water reaches the temperature to 100 degrees centigrade, it starts boiling, and at 0 degrees centigrade, it freezes into ice. The minimum temperature is minus 273.16 degrees centigrade, and the temperature cannot be below this. If the temperature falls below 0 degrees centigrade, then it is recorded in minus x degrees centigrade. It means the temperature scale will be represented as x degrees centigrade, 0, minus x degrees centigrade. If x value is 5, then temperature scale is represented as shown in the image. Now, let us do an activity of drag and drop. The image above shows the number line for temperature. Drag and drop the answers for the following questions. Now, let us learn about why different places have different temperatures. Temperature differs from place to place. The place which is close to sea has a different temperature than the place which is far away from the sea. It also differs on top of the mountain and its bottom. Temperature changes as we go from north to south. Now, let us do an activity on average monthly temperature of Hyderabad. The table shows the average monthly temperature of Hyderabad. Drag and drop the answers for the following questions. Now, let us do an activity on average monthly temperature of Panaji. The table shows the average monthly temperature of Panaji. Drag and drop the answers for the following questions. Now, let us do an activity on comparison between the temperature of Hyderabad and Panaji. The table shows the comparison between the temperature of Hyderabad and Panaji. Drag and drop the answers for the following questions.
Knowledge.
Now, let us learn about the moderate and extreme climates. In some places like Panaji, the temperature remains the same throughout the year because it is closer to the seashore, as it is difficult for the sun to heat up or cool down the sea. So, the air above the sea will be in same way. So, the places near the sea will have the same temperature throughout the year. This is known as moderate climate. The places like Hyderabad, which is far away from the sea, will not have any influence of sea. The temperature rises very high and heats up the air in the summer season, and the temperature falls down and cools the air in winter season. This is called extreme climate. Now, let us learn about the height and temperature. In summer season, most of the people move away from the plains to hilly places like Ooty and Shimla to avoid heat. The highest parts of a mountain have the lowest temperatures, which decrease with elevation. The graph shows the average monthly temperatures of Delhi and Shimla. The temperature of Shimla will be less than that of Delhi each month of the year. The elevation angle of Delhi is about 200 meters above the sea level, whereas the elevation angle of Shimla is about 2,200 meters above the sea level. The temperature falls about 6 degrees centigrade for every 1,000 meters increase in elevation. Now, let us learn about the inversion. The cool temperatures are found near the ground level in winter season. We can see dewdrops on the grass due to condensation. The cooler temperatures near the ground level are due to a lesser amount of insolation received due to the shorter days and excessive radiation due to the longer nights. This is known as inversion.
Knowledge.
Now, let us learn about the temperature in places near and far from the equator. Nigeria is located in the northern part of equator and is often referred to as the giant of Africa. The population of Nigeria is approximately 174 million. It is the most populous country in Africa and the seventh most populous country in the world. Latitude and longitude of Nigeria are 10 degrees north and 8 degrees east respectively. Equatorial regions like Indonesia are very hot throughout the year and they don't have winter season. If we move from north or south from equator, it becomes colder and the places will have separate summer and winter seasons. Now, let us learn about the temperature maps. India is a vast, sprawling country and the temperature varies at different places. We can use temperature maps to find out the hotter and colder places. Average temperature is the average of maximum and minimum temperatures of the month. In India, the average temperature is 30 degrees centigrade in the month of January. The table shows the latitude and the average temperatures of different places in the month of January.
Knowledge.
Now, let us do an activity of drag and drop. The table shows the sunrise and sunset in different cities in India on 10th January. Drag and drop the answers for the following questions.
Keywords. List of keywords are shown on the screen. Summary. Let us recap the highlights of this chapter.
When a body produces energy, the energy released is called radiation. The energy emitted from the sun is called solar radiation. On the surface of the earth, the solar radiation is called as insolation. The difference of angle of incidence makes for the amount of energy received on the earth's surface. Heat that is received from the sun reflects back from the earth in different ways and one-third of it is reflected into atmosphere. Global warming has a significant and costly effect on our communities, on our health, on our climate. The highest temperature received from sun was recorded in a place called Azizia, Libya, in Africa of 57.8 degrees centigrade in the year 1922. The lowest temperature received from sun was recorded in a place called Vostok Station in Antarctica of minus 89.2 degrees centigrade in the year 1983. Temperature differs from place to place and it also differs from the place which is near to sea and far away from the sea. The places close to the sea will have the same temperature throughout the year. This is known as moderate climate. The temperature rises very high and heats up the air in the summer season, and the temperature falls down and cools the air in the winter season. This is called extreme climate.
Read the questions. Follow-up work.
Which two places show a similar temperature pattern between Bhopal, Delhi, Mumbai, and Shimla? Can you explain the similarities between these two places? Draw a line graph of average temperature in Jodhpur, Rajasthan with the help of the maximum and the minimum temperatures. Draw a line graph of average temperature in two places A and B with the help of the maximum temperature.
Test your understanding.
You have successfully completed the chapter Energy from the Sun.